Amish have some weird names for some of their food. This is one thing that we call frog eggs. We're gonna make it today. It's actually really delicious. We used to can this stuff, which makes it really good and it makes it really simple for a good dessert. We usually had this for supper after church service. If we had company that stayed there, you want to take your pearl tapioca and you want to make sure they're the small pearls. Not the minute tapioca, but the small pearls. Add your water, a pinch of salt, and we're going to bring that to a boil and let it simmer for a while. Now you need cello for this, just plain cello powder. Don't mix it or anything. And we did not have a lot of flavor options when we were growing up. We usually had strawberry. I'm using blue raspberry because that's one of my favorite cello flavors and I never got to have it when I was growing up. And whenever we bought this cello powder when I was growing up, it did not come with instructions. It just came in a clear bag because our Amish neighbors had a bulk food store. So they just weighed it out in clear bags and put a label on that had the flavor and cello and the price and no instructions. So we always just use recipes or decided on our own how much we needed. Once your frog eggs are almost clear or your timer is up, you want to dump in that dry gelatine powder. We always just call it cello and stir that in. This is starting to smell really good. So we're just going to cover this again, take it back on the stove and let it sit on the lowest heat setting that you have for another couple of minutes so it can keep on cooking. As soon as this is done boiling, this is where you can it or you cool it off to use it because it has to be cooled off to finish it. To can it, you just pour it into your jar and you just put a lid and a ring on it. Make sure the rim of the jar is clean and you just turn it upside down like this and let it set until it's sealed. I'm going to pour the rest of mine into a bowl to cool it off. And we used to can about 4 quarts of this every time we had church for our pudding for supper. Because the Amish have church every 2 weeks. It's at the people's house. They take turns and oftentimes people stay there for supper. They feed them lunch, the whole church. And then oftentimes people stay there for supper where they serve 3 different desserts. And this is usually the pudding. Then they usually have pie and some fruit with cake and milk. Once your tapioca is completely chilled, you can see like that. It chills up from the cello and the tapioca makes it thick. And you're going to add the good part, which is your whipped topping. I just made my own. And you can add fruits and stuff. We usually had strawberry cello, so we often added bananas to ours. I'm not going to add any fruit or anything. It's also really good to add marshmallows, especially homemade marshmallows. This is what our tapioca is looking like. I know the blue color is just coloring, but it looks really pretty and it's nice and fluffy. So we're going to take a bite and see if it's good. Very, very artificial, but also very, very delicious. This is the one time I will always like my artificial flavoring. It is so good. Apparently people in the UK don't get cello in powder, so I don't know how you're gonna do this because we always use powder. I don't know how your liquid cello or whatever works that you get, but this with powder is so good. And as you can see, this has sealed now, so it's also really good to can it, to just use it later whenever you want. This will keep for a long time if you just put it in the basement or somewhere cool and dark. And you can turn it upright like this after it's sealed, and if it ever gets a little bit of green mold or anything on top, you can just scoop it off and it's still good as new. Probably because of all that artificial flavoring and coloring that's in there, but who cares? It's delicious dessert. And if you guys want this recipe, it's on page 2 of my Amish cookbook under tapioca pudding, and that cookbook is on my website socialsbylavina.com, which is linked in my profile or in the caption depending what platform you're on, or you can just type it into your browser app. Enjoy!